Hello, my name is Eric Roeder, and I work in business development for Codilation. My team of elite nerds is dedicated to helping turn big ideas into first customers. Building apps and helping develop new businesses allows me to meet amazing people. These people are doing amazing things in our tech community and my actual community of Fargo, North Dakota. I wanted to start a platform to help business leaders and other great people in our community tell their story. Connecting with amazing people is my job. Welcome to my office. We're changing the entire internet, one positive person at a time, and my guest this week is Neil Keltgen of BNG. His positivity is absolutely amazing, and his, self-accountability to be positive is even more impressive, and we're chatting a little bit about it this week. Welcome, Internet. I'm here with Face for Radio.
You did put it in there.
Neil Keltgen. You came in here and you were all braggy about that.
Yeah, I've been told I have a face for radio.
Yeah, and I prove it. Yeah. We'll just block out. Anyway, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Neil, and your role?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was hired at the BNG team.
Yes.
Because I have a master's degree.
Okay.
I don't know. You probably don't know this. You're looking at me differently, even behind the camera. This guy's got a master's degree.
I didn't think you were that smart.
Yeah, and I have a PhD in stupidity.
Okay. Well, now we're getting there.
So now we peel back the onion a little bit, and now we're and really, I'm actually coming up to a year in March at BNG Team, and this has been one of the harder years with COVID, but one of my best years, because I found a place where I feel like I can really be myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's been, and usually I'm a pretty positive guy. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here today. But it's funny when you find the right atmosphere, the right place. Not that I was in bad places before, but just that it just feels really like home. And really what my role is to take my years of stupidity, right, and then shorten the new salespeople's time frame. So we turn decades into days. And so
flatten the stupidity curve.
Exactly. And it's just the truth. I've done a lot of dumb things, and now I can teach other people. And it's in life, it's in sales, it's in all these different areas.
Universally stupid.
Yes.
That's terrible.
No, it's a good thing because it's mistakes.
You're a lifelong learner.
It's exactly.
You got to put a little better spin on it.
It is.
It's doctorate of stupidity.
Well, I appreciate you. You church it up a little bit, paint me with a little better brush that
way. Marketing. Anyway, so it's early 2021. We made it. I'm done. I am just over all of the negativity last year. I can't handle it anymore. So we're bringing on positive people just to turn the internet around one happy person at a time, because that's what all you can do is take a baby step yourself. So how did you stay positive last year?
First off, thank you for doing these things, because it's awesome. It's we could all just be well, what can you do? And you're trying to make some hey, let's get some positivity. Let's be the change you want to see, right? Yeah. I think someone way smarter than me said that. And once again, if you hear anything profound here today, it's not mine. It's somebody else's. I maybe twisted it and added some things to it, but someone much smarter than I came up with it.
Gandhi?
Yeah. So for me, and as bad as this is, I don't listen to any news.
That's not the worst.
Because I don't know if you've ever woke up lately, and if you turn on the news.
I have woken up. I made it.
Which is, again, that's what it should be. Is hey, I'm here, right? Mm-hmm. But then if you turn on the news for what's going on this year, it's not like you put yourself into this woo, I'm ready to go chase the day today.
Living the dream.
Right? Because again, the news is what you're supposed to see is headline. Mm-hmm. Trouble, breaking news, bad, right. And that's because that's what draws us in.
Yeah.
And then we think it's worse than what it can be. And so I just tell them, I'm not trying to live in a bubble. And again, I get enough information from people and other things that I know what's going on, but that's not how I start my day. And so to keep myself positive, I got to keep those same habits.
Yeah.
So if I stop my habits, which I do once in a while, stumble but don't fall. But my big thing is I have a morning routine that I am just religious with.
Wow.
And so I'm up at 5 o'clock every morning.
Gross.
Yeah, 5 o'clock. I'm an early riser.
Good for you.
And at 5 o'clock from 5 to 6, I do an hour of power.
Yep.
So that's where I'm doing my gratefulness. That's where I'm like looking at a slideshow that's on my phone of the family, these different things, getting myself in there, and then listening to a podcast, listening to something, not news, right? Something that gets me energy, excited. And then after that hour, it's working out for an hour in the basement.
Good for you.
And if I do that on a daily basis, it's like, and I tell this at the people at work, it's putting your armor on.
Sure.
Right? I am literally putting my armor on for the day. And it's like, you want to throw some torpedoes at me? Bring it. Right? Like, because I'm armored up today, right? I'm ready. I'm prepared. I'm ready to go. And so it's common, like this morning, I walked in and said, hey, did you get your armor on today?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. I got up. I got that done. And that's helped me. And I could tell when I was sliding off of that. Mm-hmm. Right? So when I wasn't doing that, that's when I'm like, yep, I didn't do my routine, my daily habits. And I don't wake up at 5 o'clock. Some days I'm like, woo! Get another shot at this, right? But most days it's because we do things of pain and pleasure.
Yeah.
And it's a lot nicer in my nice warm bed.
It is.
But if I think to myself, it's gonna be a lot worse if I don't go do this today, and my father-daughter dance isn't gonna be fierce. And it's going to be. It's on video. Get ready for this. So that propels me to get up and get after it. So again, I stay away from news. I stay away from the negativity. And if there's people in your life that are kind of that, like are those energy vampires that just suck that out of you?
Oh, that's a cool.
Yeah. Well,
concept.
It's mean. It's mean. It's from the energy bus. It's mean to call people that, right? Like, it's kind of that because they're just running a bad pattern.
Yeah.
So it's not on them, but there are some people that can really bring you down. And it's like, don't start your day with them. Don't. And we do it sometimes. And so that's just been the big thing for me is I got to keep my same routine and they're the good habits.
And I think when I went to just my dark place this year was my whole life got like grenades all of last year. It's like, go to work, go eat tacos with Neil. Just kidding. Don't go anywhere. Don't see anybody. And then you're like, work from home and like, dude, keep working out when you can just like not wear pants all day. And it's like, that was tricky routine. And now that was my struggle last year.
I totally understand it. And I got there too.
Yeah.
Because again, sometimes when I have a bad day, I'll hit that with, bad day, better have a drink.
Sure.
Right? Like I think that's how we think about it. Like it's like, oh, you having a rough day? Let's go get a drink. Or that's how we put it into our community, our system.
Right.
And that's why I always say is the only time I want to have a drink is if I'm celebrating something.
Okay.
Right? Right? Instead of if something bad's happening, well, then I'm going to go run on the treadmill. I'm going to go do something that's not destructive, right? Because it's not like, well, now I feel better, right? I might for an instant, but that's
an instant,
right.
And then it wrecks your whole week.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you win your face for radio. So we've both been in sales like a pretty good amount of years now because we're young. And
Great job.
Yes, you lead an entire sales team even. So in sales, it's so wavy, and I don't know how to tell younger. I mean, you're shortening that window.
Yep.
More than anyone, but there's just what advice do you have to anyone who's in sales who's like kind of trying to pull themselves, out of a bad wave from last year?
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm looking at you, salespeople. You're not going to like this answer. It's your fault.
Wow.
It's 100% your fault. And I'm going to get all Michael Jackson and look in the man in the mirror kind of thing. But once you realize it's your fault, it's probably the most freeing thing in the world.
Control your own destiny.
Because who can fix it?
Yeah. You can.
You can. Yeah. But I'm a tricky guy. I can rationalize some different things in my head, right?
Yep.
And it's simple. And so what I say is there are going to be worse things than COVID.
And I'm such a big picture person.
Yeah.
That's like, one of the things I'm thankful for last year is it taught me how to deal.
Right. Like now if something like this happens again, you got an arsenal, right?
2021 is starting out pretty stupid as of yesterday.
Yeah.
We'll be okay.
Yeah. And that's what it is it's like, okay, I can't stand still. I can't do nothing.
No.
Because then I know I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to be good. And that's what the salespeople did. You got the perfect excuse to not be successful.
Sure.
Now, do you want to take that belief in that story? Because we all have a belief in a story that we tell ourselves over and over again. It's that little guy in your voice. He's your coach, right? He's the meanest coach of your life.
Yeah.
And he tells you things and you start believing it. And then you go to a client and you're like, hey, but it's been a tough year. And then they're feeding into that story. Right. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, see? No wonder I'm having a bad year.
I can't sell things to people because it's tough.
It's tough. It's impossible.
It's a bad year.
Talk to John. Talk to this. And I'm not saying there wasn't hardships, but the people that pivoted, was there people that were more successful during COVID?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Be that person.
And that's what you have to be as a salesperson. You have to get resourceful. You got to think out of the box. You have to keep that energy, that excitement level. And I have people on my team. One part of our business is point of sale.
Yeah.
Restaurants.
Yep.
Our girl, Nikki, not from day one did she complain about COVID.
And I know Nick, she's a treat.
She's awesome. And the thing is what I love about it, she was selling point of sale systems because some of them got some loan money, some got some things, and there's some opportunities. And from this, there will be opportunity.
Right.
And then she backloaded by helping them get ready for online ordering and good face that way. So again, it's just like, okay, what position
the industry's
are you going to put
completely
yourself?
shifted. Be in front of that shift.
You nailed it. And so it's easy for us to be, hey, it gave you the easiest excuse ever. So it's easy to just say, hey, but it's your fault, and that you were the solution. But sometimes companies don't help either.
No.
Because what's sales like sometimes?
I'm
on a roller coaster, baby. I want to ride. And that's why most sales reps don't last a year.
Yeah.
Because the highs are awesome, but the lows suck. Right?
And I mean, I'm going to be super, like, you're not a real salesperson if you don't sit in your car once a week and be like, what am I doing?
No, right? Because you go there.
Yeah.
And again, what I want to see is this.
Right.
And again, most of the time the waves is because you stop doing the right habits.
Yeah.
Because you got a good month, right?
And then you took some time off
you decided like, well, the pipeline looks pretty good. You know what I mean? It looks good. So I got this all closed up, but I didn't work on some new leads.
Right.
And now I'm facing the hangover of the month after.
You can see your efforts in like prospecting 3 months from now.
Yep. 100%.
So like if you're killing it, great.
Yep.
If you're not doing the work to kill it,
and that's what we're trying to stay out of.
Yeah.
But now companies do a bad job of it sometimes too.
Because they're like, hey, you did a good month.
You nailed it. Because what do we say? We have these arbitrary numbers, right?
Yeah.
Right? And they're always during the year.
Yeah.
Because that's when you pay taxes. Okay? so it's like, so these are the numbers we have to hit.
Yeah.
And if you hit 50, you're a hero.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, I like having benchmarks and targets because you got to have that incentives and have things. Right. But when you have to all of a sudden hit this arbitrary number, and if you don't, you're a loser.
Yeah.
And then they bonus you if you hit it. What is that sales rep going to do to hit 50 if it's a huge bonus?
Right.
Lie, cheat, steal, take from Paul to pay. You know what I mean? Like the integrity gets blurred. And then what happens to sales teams?
They butt heads and they hate each other, and someone goes.
There's no collaboration, and there's turmoil. There's all this stuff, but we're rewarding it instead of the person that does this and they're on track. Yeah, that's what we have to reward, because then there's collaboration and people working together, and that's my boy Simon Sinek. That's the infinite game. It's like the long game, right? We're not playing. And again, you got to have benchmarks though. You have to have a target. You 100. I'm not. Some people look at me like, oh yeah, I'd love to live in your lottie world of like everything's rainbow and sunshine. It's like, no, you need to have numbers. We had a number last month that we wanted to hit as a team. We hit it. We celebrated it. It was awesome. We did it as a team, but it wasn't like, oh, excellent. Now I got this. You know, it's just we wanted to hit this benchmark. Like, God. So that's why. Again, and again, it's your fault.
It's your fault.
It's your fault. Oh, put on Michael Jackson. Put on that man in the mirror. And again, but the cool thing is you're the solution.
You're the solution. Oh, that's So yeah, we're both pretty positive people, and like last March, I was just like in Star Wars when they did Order 66. Like my heart, I just like, whoa! I could feel a big shift, and I was just in a dark place. And you kind of talked about this earlier with your routine, but you have other advice to get people kind of out of that negative, that negative space, because everyone needs help getting out of that negative space based on last year.
Yeah. Well, hey, when I started the new job March at BNG.
Yeah.
So as soon as I came to BNG, they're like, okay, first order of business, which was great. They sat me down, the executive team. They're like, we just want you to get to know everybody. Like, I'm like, usually as a salesperson, they come and say, we need you to drive numbers.
Right.
They're like, hey, just become friends with everybody. I'm like, all right.
I'll give it a shot.
I'll give it a shot. I can do that. And literally the next week, everybody was gone. Everybody was sent home, and I'm like, this really is going to be harder.
Oh, your friendship journey just got a little trickier.
It got trickier.
But you did it.
But for me, the things I've gotten really good at, I've been a very negative person before. And what happens is, and I learned this again, PhD,
Dr. Stupid
in mistakes. And what I found is when I was in a really bad place, if you're like that for a day, they're like, well, he's in a funk.
Yeah.
Right? When you're like that for a week, you're in a bad mood. Now, when you do this for a year, it's become your personality.
Oh, and then you're the vampire.
You become that person. And I was that person for a year. I was in a really, really bad spot. And why was it? Because I was running the same pattern every day.
Yeah.
We think 90,000 thoughts. You know what the problem is?
The ones you remember.
90% are the same that you thought yesterday.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so it's just you're just running the same pattern. So when I was in a bad mood because I was in a bad relationship, what do you think I woke up and thought of? Right? So instantly just like, I don't want to start today. I don't want to go. Yeah. Like I said before, when Enrique comes on the radio, what am I thinking of?
Enrique?
Yeah, I can be your hero, baby.
Oh, no, see, and I was like, I think I like it.
See, no, that's what I needed.
Yeah.
I needed that, right? But even that song would have made me sad. Because of the mood you're in.
No.
No, not. Nah, you're probably right. You're probably right. No. Put it on. Let's hear it. Let's see what it goes. But no. So switch the pattern.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's how you stay out of negative. I've really prided myself that I don't really have negative days anymore.
God.
And I get really mad if I have negative hours.
Wow.
Now and again, am I perfect at this?
No.
Working out is way easier than this, because this is my goal. I've talked to friends. I want to be in that flow state at all times, right? Like, and I love energy.
No
They think time is the most important thing in life. I think energy is.
Wow.
Because you can go to work, but if you have energy at work, you're different.
100 years of a crappy life is
it's not a good run.
Years.
Yeah, exactly. And so as soon as I get a bad thought, that's just an indicator.
Yeah.
My emotions aren't wrong. My favorite emotion was anger.
Really?
Yeah, because it works.
Oh, yeah.
Eric.
Right? I'm so sorry, Neil. Right? We'll make a perfect podcast.
And again, like, I was going to anger with my kids. I don't get angry with anybody, but I would raise my voice to my kids because they just don't listen. But they're 10 and he was 8.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is an 8-year-old making me be such a douchebag?
Yeah.
Right? I just didn't like myself.
Crazy.
And so I said to myself, okay, there's got to be something better. So I started doing reading and learning. And again, I'm like, I know how to fix this. But and again, I don't have, and it was just bad moments, right? Yeah. That's what you have to do. You have to shrink those bad days, those bad weeks, those bad months into moments. Well, how do you do that? Well, you have your indicator. Well, I'm getting angry. Why? Okay?
Right.
Like, don't make it wrong.
Right.
You just have the indication, and then, boom, I do something. Usually it's Rafinki.
Yeah.
Right? Or I'll do the LaRusso, the kick, right? The crane. Because then I do exactly what you're doing right now.
Yeah. You smile.
I laugh.
You laugh and you smile.
My buddy Joe, you know what he used to yell? Robitussin. Right? Like, it's just something to get you off that thought. And then I, all of a sudden have perspective or gratitude. And then all of a sudden I'm just like, oh yeah, I can take care of this. And I think of a time I fixed something like that in the past.
Right.
And I'm always the solution. I just got to find it.
Yeah.
And then and that's like I said, just if you can start training your brain that way. And I'm not perfect. Like I said, I fell off with my kids there for a while. Like, I'm like, you're so good in like 99%. But the most important part for me, most important role, your family.
Oh, crazy.
And so I'm like, okay, I have to get better at this. And now I can honestly say that I've gotten way better at that. So that's for me. That's you
turn it into moments.
Yeah, turn them into moments.
I like that. So yeah. So what? Again, I'm really thankful of all of the stuff that I learned about myself, about life last year. It sucked learning it.
Yeah. But now you have the tools.
I get it. What are some of the lessons that you learned last year that you're most thankful for?
For me, starting a new job, I really learned perfection is the enemy to execution.
Sure.
Because like someone would write me something on like the higher up team and I'd be like, oh, how should I respond?
Right.
And I would literally like rewrite the email like 4 times. Like you just spent like way too long.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or responding to a client or getting ready for a demo or doing these things that I should just, right. Which comes in time, right. With the repetition. But how do you get the reps faster?
You sit
do it quicker.
No, you just sit and you rewrite it 4 times. Is that?
I was getting some reps that way.
That's 4 reps.
That's controlled failure. That's practice.
That's 4 email reps.
Yeah, see, I need you as my hype man.
So, I have this hype horn, so I got a deal. One of our vendors gave it that. And
I have that. This must be the same vendor because I have that at our office.
Yeah,
so.
No, I was wildly excited. And then at the same time, I feel like everyone I was like, why would you give Eric a hype horn?
Love it. But no, so I learned that, again, and there's no better teacher than doing.
Yep.
Right? Like, I've learned a lot of things. I love reading. I love books, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I turned into, like, the self-help, like, addict.
Yep.
And I wasn't putting it into action.
You have to take 1 page out of those books you read
and do it. And do it.
And then it's the slow wave that you were talking about earlier, is if you just take 1 step in the right direction.
Momentum is a great thing.
Right? And I think no one understands momentum.
And that's why
in business, in anything, like it is so important to be, you know what, you're not where you want to be.
Right.
It's so important to be going there.
Yes. You're just on that trend, right? You're riding that fun part of the wave.
Right.
And what no one realizes is that's the funnest part. We will look back at these years, even though they're the hardest, and we'll look back and say, that was one of the best years because you learned more, you did more. And again, it's hard to see it, but with momentum too is we got to start small.
Yeah.
Right? Like some people like, it's New Year's. Come on, resolution time, right?
Yeah.
And again, some people are like, well, I have to go to the gym. I got to find the gym. I got to get some new workout clothes because my tops are just not stylish.
Right.
I'm not looking good. Got to get some new, and we chunk all these huge things we have to do.
Yeah.
Just go do some push-ups in the basement. That's what I decided. I finally gonna quit the gym because I haven't gone in 2 years, right? And so now we got a workout room in the basement.
Good.
Great, right? So it's just like small.
And you did a push-up.
Right.
That is
Start
one more
momentum than I did the day before.
From the last year if you're Eric Roeder.
So that was a big lesson starting a new position again is like, okay, there's nothing better than doing. When all of a sudden the fire hydrant got turned on because I had to do these things, that's when learning was like,
yeah.
And I wasn't thinking anymore. I was just doing.
Yeah.
That's when it was
That's the spot where you need to be.
Yes. And again, it takes time sometimes because that's when your confidence comes.
You need to get your doctorate.
But you can get there faster.
Yeah.
You get there faster.
You get there faster. I like that.
You get there faster.
So yeah, one of the things the biggest thing that I learned is I just need to be around people and I need to be thankful for people. And so like sitting with you at a desk at a coffee shop or a fantastic taco place.
Yeah.
Has like genuinely made my life better and learning that has got me through last year. And so one, I thank you. Is there anything our audience can do, to help you, or there's some goals that you're trying to hit this year?
I love it. See, so like we talked about, it's the new year. It's a great time to reflect and have goals.
Yep.
And now we were just talking to the team about this is like, okay, the biggest thing for goals is everybody says make them SMART goals, which is smart.
Yep.
Be specific.
Yeah.
Right? Don't be a wandering generality. Right? And so that's what I'm trying to do more of. Like, I want to make more money this year.
Okay.
Great. Like, I want to lose weight this year. I want to, you know what I mean? So
schedule one more meeting than you did last year or last week.
Yeah. And so again, just more specificness. But for me, something that could help me is I'm really trying to get to be a better cook. Okay, so...
Because holy cow, did you cook a lot more than you did in 2019?
And the thing is...
I'm sick of my 20 go-tos.
You just nailed it. Because again, when me and my wife try to start eating healthy, we have like 5 go-to meals. And I'm like, if I see eggs one more time this week, I'm going to freak out. Right? So we need to open up our palate a little bit that are some good, healthy, that have some good nutrition meals for ourselves.
Right.
And I also noticed too is my wife, God bless her, was home with the kids all day. Right? Yep. And well, the kids are at school now. So but some days she's home with the kids, and then I get home and she's just making supper for everybody, and I'm just like like hey, good to be.
The universe has presented quesadillas to me.
Right.
Well, that's great.
How great. And I'm like, wow, that's what a terrible, come on. So this year I want to do the cooking for us.
Oh, I like that.
So far I'm a perfect, I don't know how deep we are. 7. I'm 7 for 7 for supper. 7 for supper for supper so far. So that, and then I want to add 5 new entrees in our repertoire. So if you're listening to me and you have a healthy entree, you send it to Neil. Find me on LinkedIn.
Eric first.
Get it to Eric and
first.
And then send it to me.
I love burritos, and that we could eat less. I can make great burritos. I could eat less of those.
Hey, and again, and me eating healthier this year, because I know food is, again, an important thing for me.
Like if your big thing is energy,
it's what you're putting in your body.
Food is a huge component of that.
And people ask me all the time, they're like, oh, I wish I had your energy. I'm like, well, you know what a wish is.
Yeah.
It's a goal with a deadline.
Your heart makes. Oh, no?
I like that. Okay. I like that better. But it's a wish is it's like a dream. It's like a goal without a timeline.
Yeah.
Like I can show you how I've gotten this energy.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But again, what I would suggest this year for New Year's is try subtracting goals. They're often more powerful than adding, because we all want to add more things.
Sure.
Well, we only have so much bandwidth. So what's going to give?
Take
right?
Out, yeah.
So I am a bedtime ninja.
What does that even mean?
Try to get me up past 9:30 and I will fight you. Because I know if I go to bed at 9:30, I can get up at 5 and I can do my routine. Yeah. So what keeps me from doing that?
Your phone.
Cobra Kai.
Okay.
My phone.
Yeah.
Ted Lasso, that is just an amazing. I love his optimism. I wanted to watch another episode last night, but I'm like, sorry, Ted, you'll be here tomorrow.
You'll be here tomorrow.
Right?
It is January. I bet there will be a cold day that I can watch things on TV.
And again,
soonish.
We all need our escape.
Yeah.
But there's a point where I've been binge watching too long. And then when I looked back at my life too, when I had like some stumbles and I got off my morning routine, guess what it was?
Yeah.
Fantasy football weekend with the guys.
Yeah.
That, right? And then I stumbled.
Yeah.
And then I just got off the path and all of a sudden I wasn't feeling good. So for me, that's like I said, part of it is like I have subtraction goals, right? Like what am I going to stop doing?
I've never even heard of this is why I enjoy a conversation, a subtraction goal.
And you will get more by taking it out. Because again, when you keep trying to add on to things, you already don't have time.
You have capacity.
Yes, but you have to take something away.
Yeah.
So what are you going to stop doing?
Yeah.
And I love this because I talked to a buddy about this and he's like, Neil, dude, because you have to replace the habit, right? Yep. Like I was doing fantasy football. I replaced that app with Audible.
Oh.
So I just replaced the app.
Yeah.
Took the TV out of the room. Because you got to have a strategy.
Yeah.
You can't just say, oh, I'm going to do this, right? So my buddy's like, hey, Neil, you're going to be so proud. I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? He's like, I stopped smoking. I'm like, yeah. Nux, man. Like, good job. And he's like, yeah, I'm just chewing now. Wrong replace. I'm off the black tar heroin, but I'm on meth. It's like, no, that's not what I said. Like, how do we replace with something good, right? Like, from fantasy football to Audible to.
Could you just watch fantasy football this is my score this second.
Oh, I was so bad.
Yeah.
4 screens on, not watching a game.
Yeah.
Just watching the game inside the game. The Colts are winning by 30, but I'm watching the game because they're like, why are we watching this? And I'm like, well, because we need him to get in the end zone.
Obviously. Well, yeah, T.Y. Hilton. And
exactly.
He needs to catch 3 more passes. Otherwise. My life is ruined.
And then exactly, I'd be in a bad mood. Like if the Vikings lost and I lost in fantasy, don't talk to me till Wednesday.
Jeez.
Right? Like, and it's like, really? And think about that. So many people are like, oh, we won, we did it. Really? What did you do?
I just won my league. Don't wreck my...
Oh, sorry.
I genuinely have the check in my pocket that I stole from all my friends for being dumber than me, and you're wrecking me.
I'm not wrecking, because that's still fun to have those wins.
Yeah.
But again, like some people tie everything into their sports team. Mm-hmm. But even when they win the championship, if you think life's going to be better,
no,
it's not.
No.
It's really not. It's going to be for a little bit, right? And the same thing with this.
My window of like this being awesome is like
it's very.
As soon as I spend that money that I won,
pretty diminishing
at
that point.
Yeah, we did it. Oh,
so.
That's crazy. So yeah, we'll wrap things up because we got a nerd question.
Oh,
you can't.
Hey,
if you don't come down to this,
no, and that's why you gotta have the nerd.
Mandalorian, like I gotta wait like 10 months now.
I know it was too fast.
It is too fast. But I took a Star Wars quiz before you came in, and I have my answer. But I'll ask, what Jedi are you?
Yeah, and I would say Yoda.
Yeah,
and the reason because I just love like there's some very smart people. Like Yoda is really close. Mr. Miyagi probably like
sage,
like that sage advice.
The
like
doctor.
I mean, just finding balance in life, and I mean all that. And then Yoda, like I mean, he had some just great lines.
Yeah,
and just that teacher coaching.
I mean, basically, man in the mirror is there is only
is there
try.
Anybody...
There is only try. Do or do not.
Do or do not. There is no try. There is no try, right? There's do or do not. And I love that line.
Yeah.
I love getting try out of your vocabulary.
Yeah.
Right? And so yeah, definitely. And that's probably like if it was early, I'm like, dude, I'm Luke Skywalker, man. Early in my sales and stuff like that, that's what I wanted to be, right? Yeah. I wanted to be the front man. I wanted to be now seeing someone else.
Oh, that's fine. You can punch the microphone.
I can punch the mic
a little bit, but mild punches.
Seeing someone else, like there's a lot of young people on my team, and that's where I get my juice, man. That's what gets me excited to go.
See other people being Luke Skywalker.
Oh, when I see my kids, when I'm like, "You gonna have a good day," and like, "Well, only I decide, Dad." I'm like, "Oh, like goosebumps, like right, like, hey, Dad, some kid called me weird at school today, and I told him thank you." Like, and I'm like, oh. Right? Like, it's like, they're getting it.
Yeah.
But more's caught than taught.
Yeah.
Right? So they're watching. That's the most important thing. They're not always listening to what you're saying. They're watching. And do you guys know where bullying comes from?
No.
We're always so mad that our kids are bullies and bullying is a terrible thing. It's coming from us parents. Because we're at home at the dinner table. You know what we're saying? Can you believe the neighbors haven't got their garage stuff in yet? Or you can believe what a mess it is?
Christmas tree's still up.
We do it, and we don't even know we're doing it.
Yeah, wow.
Watch it once. Go next time you're with people, see what you're talking about. If you're talking about other people, stop it.
Stop being bullies.
Stop being bullies.
Wow. Okay, well, I took the BuzzFeed quiz. And
Who are you?
I got Obi-Wan. And he's like my boy. Because I don't know. I just love how he's... And I feel like in my life, I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I'm not the Luke Skywalker, like the Anakin jump into the fire. I'm like, okay, there's a fire. I'm going to be snarky and smart about the fire.
Right? Right?
I love someone's like when he jumps in, like, and there's a ton of battle droids, and generally he's like, hello.
So you feel like it hit you. The quiz hit you.
It aligned with the Force, that particular quiz, though. So, yeah, nerd questions mean it's time to wrap up.
Okay.
We're changing the internet one amazingly positive person at a time. So thank you, Neil, for stopping out. So.
Yeah. No, this was great, and I really, really appreciate it. And when I first sat down with Eric to have a coffee with him, I was like, he said he had coffee with a lot of people. I'm like, well, I wonder if I'm gonna get like a second coffee. Like, and then he invited me for tacos.
Yeah.
And now on the pod, like.
You're making, honestly, I can't spend enough time with positive people, and that's kind of what I learned last year. So, yeah, thank you, and I want everyone to choose to have a great week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah. God, we crushed it.
It was fun.